At the top of the hour, House Democrats will try to pass a resolution to pressure Vice President Pence and the cabinet to remove President Trump via the 25th Amendment. They will also then begin to lay out their case by formally introducing the article of impeachment, a single one, against President Trump for inciting an insurrection. Almost the entire Democratic caucus is backing the measure now, even talk of some Republicans. Joining us now, Representative Hank Johnson of Georgia, a Democrat on the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, thanks so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
First, on this single article of impeachment, which we received earlier in the broadcast today, when do you expect the House to vote on this, and do you expect that it will come together to impeach the president?
Yeah, House rules will require about 48 hours. So Wednesday at the earliest is when the House will be able to vote on that article of impeachment.
So it looks like virtually all of the Democratic caucus will vote yes. Have you spoken to Republican colleagues in the House who say they will vote yes as well?
No, I've not spoken to any of my Republican colleagues since what happened last Wednesday. I would hope that the events having settled upon them, that they would recognize the gravity of the situation that their president, our president, has put us in, has put the nation in, and they would start looking at what is best for the nation as opposed to what is best for Donald Trump or what is best for the Republican people. We're really, Jim, in a battle for control of the soul of the nation insofar as our democracy is concerned. This is a battle for our democracy. We've got elements that have been generated by Donald Trump that are actually trying to wrestle freedom away from the American people.
Yeah.
And we can't allow that to happen.
Of that. Your colleague and the Democratic whip, James Clyburn, mentioned the possibility yesterday of the House voting to impeach the president this week, but the Senate waiting for a trial until 100 days after President-elect Biden's term begins to allow him to focus on his legislative agenda. Do you support that option of impeaching now, trying later?
Well, I believe the most solemn obligation that we have now is to remove this president from office as quickly as possible. And so that means impeachment proceedings in the House. I wish that we could have an expeditious trial in the Senate. But Mitch McConnell has mentioned that he's going to wait until the 19th of January in order to start proceedings. But in my opinion, this is the most important thing that we must do to preserve and protect our nation. And even if it must bleed over into the next administration, we can't move forward until we get this issue behind us. And so my recommendation, I fall on the side of those who would want to proceed to transfer the articles of impeachment to the Senate immediately and insist on them that they proceed as quickly as possible.
Let me ask you this. Is the reason you want to do this before the inauguration with 9 days to go, is it to hold the president accountable, or is it also because you're concerned that the president might endanger the country again in the next 9 days?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about what the president is inciting as we move forward to January 20th. There is abundant evidence floating around on social media, on the right-wing social media sites, where President Trump is inciting massive crowds to converge on Washington, D.C. on January 20th to finish what they started on January 26th. So this is not ending. The president is calling for his supporters to continue the uprising, to continue the insurrection. He wants even more people in Washington, D.C. than converged on the 6th. And what we're seeing is the outlines of a armed rebellion of suicidal maniacs coming to Washington, D.C. to do bodily injury and property damage to the Capitol and those inside of it.
Let me ask you this.
So it's a very serious situation that we're facing as Americans.
No question. And I've heard from national security sources genuine fear about what happens around the inauguration. Folks watching might not be aware of how much you were in the middle of this on Wednesday. We have a photo here of you on the floor of the House as this assault was taking place. That's there, so viewers know, in the glasses just on the left there. I wonder if you could tell us what's happening in this picture, and did you at that moment fear for your life and the lives of your colleagues?
Yeah, it was at that moment where it flashed upon my mind that we may not make it out of here. Just for a second, the gravity of what was happening dawned upon me, but that notion quickly went away as, I continued along with my colleagues to understand what we were being told by the Capitol Hill police officers who were in the on that third floor with us, giving us instructions, but at the same time communicating with their colleagues who were on the lower level on the House floor. We were all intent on making it out of there safely. And so there was no time to really worry, but there was a lot of confusion, and there was a lot of panic that was taking place. But I think everyone managed to maintain their cool heads, and we were able to escape out of there. But my hat is off to those Capitol Hill police officers who were defending us in a time when we needed to be protected. They rose to the occasion. And a couple of them actually have given their lives. And, really, for the families, my heart goes out.
Ours as well, and we're glad you and your staff and your colleagues are safe too. Congressman Hank Johnson, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Jim.